Hello everyone, it's Jill and welcome to my craft. Today I'm going to do a little project for a friend's birthday. It's an old Ikea mirror which I'm just going to upcycle and make into a little gift for her. Yeah, the mirror is under there. I've just covered it over obviously because of the reflection from the light, etc. So before I actually get stuck into it, I went through my craft kit and I've pulled out a few bits and pieces which I thought I would like to use. I'll just pop that over to one side a moment. So I've got a piece of paper here. Obviously you can see that's Kaiser Craft. It's double-sided, and I thought that would look quite nice on the actual mirror itself. And then I've got lots of other bits and pieces. This is Madden Pay Road. I thought I could cut some of these little images out here and stick them down. For my main focal point, I've got one of the paper dolls from Tim Holtz. I thought that would look really quite nice down the bottom here somewhere, since it's for a friend. And then I've got various little bits of ephemera. These are the Tim Holtz again. And what else did I pull out? I pulled out some tags. I don't know if I'm going to use all of this or not, but I've just pull these few pieces out because sometimes we have so much stuff in our craft kits we just don't know where to start. So I've basically eliminated rather a lot of stuff and pulled out a few bits and bobs that I thought I would like to use or not. It just depends. Little chipboard frames, it just depends how things go. And then for charms, I have still my little charms in these little jars, beautiful little jars. These are little Ikea jars, and I rather liked that bumblebee. But there's various other things here. There's keys, etc., etc. There's another little pot of rather a lot of considerable amount of charms. See, that's rather nice. May use some others, I don't know. So before I start anything at all, I need to paint around the edges of the frame, just to tidy all that up, and perhaps around the inside of here. And I'm going to actually stick the paper down as well. And I will come back to you in a moment. Right, so here we are back again. Yes, you can see I've painted, but I haven't actually stuck the paper on because I thought I'd better show you how I cut that to fit. So just take your piece of paper upside down and then put your mirror on the top. Now I just need to line this up exactly into the corner. If you excuse me a minute, I'll just do that, and along this top edge here. Nope, let's get that exact. Like so. Right, and then I'm just going to use a pencil. Make sure that's exactly right. And just draw around the edge. Like so. I'm going to take my steel-edged ruler, really sharp craft knife, and cut this off to size. Lovely. Oh, sorry, I've knocked you. And it's hard to see that line. Never mind. But anyway, I think I've just about got it there. Okay, so let's take that out of the way. As you can see, when I painted the edges on this, I've pulled a bit in, so if I've got a tiny bit short, it won't matter. It will hopefully just be an edging. As you can see, yeah, there's a teensy tiny little bit there. It's a bit short. That's just a tiny fraction over, so I'll just take a tiny slither off of this side. like so. Let's bring in my mirror again. That's better. It's quite nicely. Right, with the mirror panel in the middle, obviously it's down here, what I do with that is I cut with a pair of scissors, and feel the edges of the mirror. Just use a little pencil mark just to get the corners. So I'm not cutting out exactly at the moment, I'm just doing a rough guide, like so. And then since my paper's already got a cut in it, it's not too bad. Just cut a little piece up towards each corner. There we are. Now then, hopefully that will be nearly where we need it to be. I'm just going to do a fold into the edge of the mirror. I could do the cutting out a little bit more. Like so. And then just press that down. It's going to give us a guideline in a minute, just to get our little ruler on there and cut that out. And then if this doesn't work exact, what I will do when I'm actually finishing off the decoration is to put some edging around it. Didn't come down quite far enough with that one. Let's try it again. Sure, if you've got a die or something, you may be able to do this if you measure but I don't actually have a square die, not a plain square die. Come in again. Right, so there we go. Let's just see what we've got now then. That's not too bad. I will just take a tiny bit more off. I don't want to make it too small, but I just need to take that just that tiny bit more. A slither. Come in again. No, that's not worked very well, that one. Let's try again. Hopefully your paper won't have a cut in the side of it. It's just that I saw this one and I liked the roses, and it just so happened that it had a cut in the side of it. It's a bit of a nuisance. Come in again. Right, let's try again. There we go, it's a lot better. So if there's any more bits that are just slightly overhanging, in fact, possibly that needs to come off a bit more, I can file them down a bit later. Just come in again here. It's a bit untidy, that corner. See if I can tidy that up a bit. Measure that back in again. There we go, that's better. I think maybe a bit more off this side. Let's come in from the front this time. There we go, that's better. It's a better fit. Right. Stick this down onto the wood. I'm going to use some high-tack glue, which I'm just going to pop, move that out of the way so you can see a bit better. Like so. Looks a bit scrappy at the moment. But it'll be all right. So there we go. There we go. So we've got that going on at the moment. Stick in there. Go on. That's it. Now then, just going to spread this out by using a little bit of sponge. If you've got one of these little sponge brush things, that's great. Just want to make sure you get right the way into the edges, into the corners. and spread it around so it's nice and flat. And obviously this dries clear, so if you've got any bits of overspill or whatever, you can just wipe it off, or you won't see it later. And by spreading the glue out, it'll make sure that you don't get big lumps underneath. Sometimes you get a bumpy lump. There we go. Let's go with that then. Right, I'm just going to dry my hands with a baby wipe because I didn't think to get that a minute ago. Right then. And let's just come in with our piece of paper here. Make sure it's up the right way. That would not be good, would it, to stick the thing upside down? Just line that up, and then you can just flatten it down with your hand. Or if you've got a brayer, just sprayer it down. Make sure that's well and truly stuck. So what I'm going to do now is just let that dry off, and then I will come back to you again in a moment. Right, so this is all dried off quite nicely now. I'm ready for my next step, which is going to be to put some of the little bits and pieces on that I've cut out from the Madame Payroad. Various little advertisements, etc. Let me see if I can just place them, and then we can get into there with our matte medium. So I think I'm going to pop those there. Oh, sorry, I've knocked you again. Good at that. And some of these little bits and pieces down here, maybe like so. What do I do with that? Just jiggle it around a bit. Bearing in mind I'm going to put my ladies here. Yes, I think that would look quite nice. What about there? Something just behind them there. Okay then, let's go and go in with this. So this stuff is great. It dries clear. It's matte, so that obviously you don't want a gloss finish on something. Then this is ideal, and it will just seal whatever you've got. So you can pop that down. You can actually go over this as well, just to make sure it's well and truly sealed. Just make sure that's reasonably straight, that one, because it's going to look funny if it's not. There we go. Nice soft brush. Right, just come on down to this top corner here, I think. So you can just go over the whole area. Put that down there. Just picking some up out the lid at the moment. Excellent. This little one here, I'm actually going to frame this with one of the little frames that I had. I've painted it the same colour that I used around the edges. Around the edges I actually used this Americana acrylic paint, and this one's honey brown because I felt it just went with all the colours. So all I've done for the moment is just paint that one. That's just drying, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to do some crackle glaze on that. So just going to put it over this one here, which I thought would be nice, just to offset a bit like so. Yes, so this lion one I'm going to put there. And that's all of this is going to cover this piece where I joined on together with my big bumblebee I've decided to put there. Let's check that. Yeah, that's good there. And then just down to these little bits here. So I'm just going to pop these at all sort of little angles. Just like random. Little dance card. These are all little activities, these things that I thought friends would do. Dancing. Back in the day when you could do these kind of things, obviously. At the moment, with lockdown, well, who's doing anything other than crafting? Such is life at the moment. There we go. Put that on there. Now then, if you just really want to go over the rest of the thing, you can. And put my ladies down while I'm here. Make sure that's stuck under there. So I've got a really nice tight stick. There we are. So that's that for the moment. I'm just going to pop that to one side again just to dry off. It doesn't take too long. I'll just pop it over there for the moment. Just put my brush into some water. This stuff washes off with just soap and water. And I'm just going to come into the crackle glaze on here. Now then, where's my brush? Find a brush. So this is the Deco Art One Step Crackle. I'm going to pop that onto there. Brush it round. You don't need a whopping great thick coat of this. But it will take a couple of hours to dry, this one. So I just need to pop it to one side and let that do its thing. And again, this is just a water based product, so all you need to do is put that into some, just a bit of water, and then just pop that into the crackle. 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 And then just pop that into water to clean your brushes off. Okay, put that over here onto my little mat just to dry, and then I will come back to you when that's dry. Right, so for my next step, I'm just going to go round the edges, outside edges, with some VersaFine. This one I've got vintage sepia. Just ink up. Just do the, I wanted to use a permanent ink really, in case I put some more media on it in a minute. The matte medium, and I don't want it to smudge, which if I was using distress ink it would. So let's just come in with that. So it just takes a little bit of time. And just carefully make sure you're done all the way around. And then once this is dried, again, it just needs a little while to dry, 10 minutes or so. And then I'm going to go around and put some red on the edges. So again, I will carry on with this and get back to you. Right, here we are with the red. I've only got a little ink pad for the red, but you know, no problem. Does the job. So let's come on in and go around right on the edge. I want to do this. And you can see it just pops. It's a really nice border. A little bit more in the corner. Right, so now that that's done, looking good, I'm going to just highlight a few of these little roses with some pink and green, just to add a little bit more colour. But again, don't use a watercolour pencil. I've got my Spectrum Noirs here. So I'm just going to do a little few of the roses. Nothing spectacular, it's just going to add that tiny little pop. So I will carry on with these and I'll see you in a moment. Right, so I finished the colouring in of the roses, and as you can see, it's just added a tiny bit of difference, you know, tiny bit of colour. It's not fantastic on top of the matte medium, but then I didn't really need it to be. It just adds a bit of more of a vintagey, washed out, faded look to it. So all ready to go now on the next stage, which was to seal it all with some ultra matte varnish, and I've done that, and I've just let it dry for about half an hour. So I'm ready now to go into the final stages, which is sticking on all of the embellishments and little flowers, etc, etc. First of all, here's my little frame that I did with the crackle accents. Now it didn't come out very well, so what I did was I went back in and did some with my Distress Crackle Paint Rock Candy, and then it started to crackle, and I thought, oh, I'll dry that with my heat gun, and you can see what it's done. It's just dried a bit white. I think it's going to be all right, because I'm going to distress it anyway with some inks through the crackle and see what we get. So that's going to be my first little job. Let's come on in with that, and I'm going to use some walnut stain. Let's see what happens here then. So if you're doing that really sort of distressed look, I mean, it's not going to make that much difference. Not to me anyway. There we go. You see how that's darkened that down quite nicely now. Can I get rid of it? No, I can't. But, you know, I don't think it matters. Right, so there's that. I'm just going to quickly dry that off with my little cloth here. And then hopefully you can see that it's gone into all the crackles and it's distressed it down quite nicely. The overall looks quite nice, I think. There we go. So that one's actually going to go there. And I may put that on first. So I've got my hot glue gun. And just pop a bit of glue around the edges. So this is always the good bit, isn't it? All the embellishments. And you'll see I've chosen a few more and got rid of some other bits that I did keep out and then decided against. Let's pop that one down there like so. Brilliant. That frames that quite nicely. Looking good. Yes, my mirror's still under there. That's still being covered up at the moment. Obviously I don't want the reflection. Right, the other thing I wanted to do was I found some nice gold ribbon, and then I thought that would look quite nice along there. So to put this on, I'm actually going to use some high tack glue. I've chosen quite a lot of different glues and mediums to stick stuff down. Let me see if I can just pop some glue on the back here. See what? Come on out. I did get this ready, honest. There we go. Let's put that out there. Right, hopefully that's enough of that. Let's just pop that through there. Stick that down like so. I quite like this glue for ribbon because you've got time for it to move it around, flatten it out before it dries. There we go. I'm just going to cut this little piece off the end here. Sorry about the noise. There. Let's put that down a bit harder, a bit flatter. Okay, so that's that done. I'm just going to get rid of my sticky glue there, because that's bound to get stuck on something else in a minute, isn't it? Right, there we go. Let's put my little nozzle, bit in my nozzle. Now then, I wanted to put some wording up here, and I found my letters. Found some letters here, which are the Tim Holtz ideology. As you can see, they're sort of like a bear chip type look, and they've got some little embossing on them. And what I've done with mine is I've coloured them in with pro marker, as you can see, so you can see the difference between the little highlighted bits. So that was all I did with those. I'm going to put them down first, and to do that I'm just going to make sure they're straight. I'm just going to pop a straight edge down just to make sure we're in about the right area. And I've chosen the word friends, maybe a bit higher. Friends. There we are. So again, I'm going to come in with my high-tech glue. Dries clear, so if anything squishes out the sides, it's not a disaster. Let's put that there. And so there we are. Oops, sorry, I've knocked you yet again. Note to self, don't do that. Right, let's just check that's okay. Excellent. Brilliant. Let's put that down there too. Push that down. Excellent. Now then, some of the other bits and pieces I chose I haven't used. I haven't used the little doilies. I didn't use the bits of coloured card that I had. I went back into my kit and I found some flowers that I'd made because I thought they would be quite nice. Sorry. And what I'm going to do now is just place them out. These were bits and pieces that I've made. I've had a flower making session and they've been in my craft kit for a very, very long time. I just wanted to bring the red in a bit more, so I put a little gemstone in the middle of that one. And then I got my charms out. And I thought I'd just do a little arrangement round like this with the charms. So that's my next port of call. And I've actually got, sorry, again, I've actually got my hot glue gun for this. These are little glassine roses. These have just been made with little punches. I think they were the petal pairs. The tonic petal pairs. Right, I need to put another glue stick in. This one was just one of those little flowers that you roll up, one of those type of little dies. Now for my metal embellishments, I'm going with pin flare. There we go. I'm just going to pop that one up in here. Let's get my tweezers. That one I went with hot glue. Right, there we go. So that's that little corner done. And coming back down to this side, I have my bee, my lovely bee, which I'm just going to pop there. Again with pin flare so I can sort of build it up a bit. Right, he needs a bit more this side just to hold him up. And that just covered that little rest of that bit where the paper, oh I hope you can see, that just covered the little line where the paper was cut round there. And then another glassine rose, which I thought would be quite nice here. Coming up the home straight, here's my little heart that I found earlier, I rather liked. Just going to tuck that under here, just to hide the hole at the top. That looks quite nice. And then I had one of these little frames that I found, and I've just cut out a little bit of the Madame Peyrote papers. Just going to stick that one down there. Go on, feed through. It's always a pain when you start a new glue stick. There we go. Right, let's pop that one down there. And I've got a couple of little red heart stars, and I just wanted to bring in the red from the top here and here. I just wanted to bring that tiny little bit more red, so I'm just going to pop these down here. Here's my tweezers. I didn't have any red hearts actually, so I've coloured them in with my Pro marker again. And there we go. One more little red star. Where shall I put that? Do we need the red star? Would be rather nice, wouldn't it? Maybe just there. So obviously it's going to take quite a while to dry now. It probably need a few hours because the pin flare will take that long, and I can't pick that up. Let's try again. There we are. So that is finished, and let's take the piece of paper out of here so that you can see the whole frame in all its glory. Let's see if I can pull out a bit more so you could see the whole frame. Now I hope that's given you some inspiration, some ideas of what you can do, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.